Good morning. It is Wednesday, November, I almost said October, November 1st, 2017. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline, and Arthur's here.
Hey.
Ryan's getting Botox or lip injections or something.
Yeah.
He'll be late, as usual. I mean, he's always causing some sort of chaos.
Yeah.
So quickly, just want to talk about, where is it? The terrorist attack in New York yesterday. Was it Uzbekistan?
Yeah, Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistanian? I don't know.
I think they're called Uzbekis.
Uzbekis? Oh, that's kind of a cool name.
Yeah.
His name is, Saifulo Saipov, and he rented a van from Home Depot and rode down a bike path and killed 8 people and seriously injured 11 more. 5 of them are from Argentina. They were there on a school reunion trip. And one is confirmed from Belgium, but we don't know the other one, sadly.
That's a shame.
Douchebag. And then he gets out of the truck and he's got a pellet gun and a paint gun. At least he didn't have access to like an automatic weapon.
Yeah. I think that was just the suicide by cop aspect, though.
Yeah,
do your thing.
But he didn't die.
Exactly, right? Do your thing, get out, force the cops to kill you. You know, you're now martyred, but now he's not martyred.
He's not a martyr. He's not getting his 72 virgins or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And he's going to end up in jail and be someone's bitch. He better be in a, segregated community because otherwise he's in a lot of danger.
I'd imagine they would. I don't think they'd do something. I don't think they'd put something like that in a general population.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because it's just guaranteed. Like, it's guaranteed that someone's going to murder him. You know, like, regardless of why you're in jail or who, like, what gang faction you're in. Like, I'm pretty sure every American criminal can agree terrorists suck.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah,
like,
and they're going to come for you.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't heard anything about any, like, potential links to ISIS except for him shouting Allahu Akbar through the fucking window as he did it.
Yeah.
But, again, it could have just been somebody who's not right in the head.
Yeah. Or just somebody who's disenfranchised. Who knows? I mean, we had ISIS try to claim responsibility for the Las Vegas shooting last month, which 100% was not affiliated at all.
No.
So who knows? I'm sure, which makes me laugh. Of course, I'm seeing comments about this is what happens when Obama lets all his brown buddies into the country, and it's like he's from Uzbekistan and he's pretty much white.
Yeah, they're predominantly white. Like, fuck out of here. Like, open up a fucking geography book, you morons.
They can't.
Fuck's sakes.
They can't. Fox News and Alex Jones isn't telling them to open geography books.
I got no qualms with people hating on people. Like, I really don't. But if you're going to hate on somebody, do it properly. You know what I mean? Like, actually understand what the fuck it is you're hating.
Know the target of your hatred.
Exactly. Like, or else you just come off like a complete fucking moron. Which, you know, just seems to just be the fucking trend down there.
Okay. So, hopefully the people that are injured recover, and, it's sad. Hopefully they can, I mean, you can't prevent that. Somebody can take any vehicle and run you down. So, I'm just glad it wasn't a bigger tragedy. He hit a school bus and luckily no kids were injured.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So, last night was Halloween. Did you dress up?
Hell no.
Did you give out candy?
Hell no. I sat in my basement with all the lights turned off watching the fucking baseball game. Fuck your kids.
Okay, so a little bit of Halloween stories we'll talk about. Do you have a favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah, the free ones.
They're all
no, not really.
I love the rockets. I love them, and I like licorice. Those are my favorite. It's sad. This is the first year none of my kids trick or treated, so I didn't get any free candy. I just have the candy that was left over. But
well, I mean, today's discount candy day anyway, so just
that's true. I'll have to go over and see what I can get. The FDA came out with a story this last couple days, and it warms my heart because there's a candy I despise. It's not chocolate. I mean, I don't like chocolate that much, but this candy is disgusting. Black licorice.
I like it.
Oh, it's disgusting. Too much of it can kill you.
Yeah. But did you see?
It says if you're 40 or older and you're eating 2 ounces of black licorice a day for at least 2 weeks, you could end up in the hospital with irregular heart rhythm or arrhythmia.
Well, no fucking doubt. Like,
But two
that's
ounces isn't that much.
a day for 2 weeks.
But think about all those old people that like to buy those big boxes of all sorts,
Uh,
and then they just sit there and eat them. My father
mm,
died from an arrhythmia.
yeah,
Maybe he was eating licorice before then. I don't know. He loved black licorice.
yeah, but still, that just seems so stupid to even fucking say. Like,
Yeah.
if you're eating that much fucking candy, like, come
You
on,
should.
like,
You probably taking insulin too. Like,
yeah, right,
stop eating.
like,
But oh, it's so gross. Just don't eat it because it tastes nasty. Ew.
it's not the worst.
Oh, it's up there. That's for sure. Um, and then my other Halloween story. We'll talk quickly. We were saying apparently people were putting meth into candy or fentanyl patches. Um, check your kids' candy, I guess, but use gloves because if it's fentanyl, you could get an overdose and die.
I've always felt like these are just urban legends, though. You know,
I
like,
always feel like people, like the last couple of years, there's been pictures of kids with candy with razor blades and stuff, and I always feel like the parents did it for attention.
same here. Like trying to get something off of fucking Oprah or some shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I've never felt like any of these are genuine because like again, drugs are expensive. I'm not giving my
yeah,
fucking drugs away to your kid. Fuck, like again, fuck your kid. Like those are my drugs.
yeah.
You know,
And I mean,
it's
anybody giving away a packet of meth, like I can't imagine, like we were saying, even if a drug dealer did that to get somebody hooked,
yeah.
they're not going to know where they got it. They're not going to know who to go back to get the good drugs, right?
Unless you live in that like small town where like you just
There's
have
only one drug
Larry the
dealer.
meth dealer.
But
You
then they're
know,
going to know who put that in the bag of
yeah,
in the
exactly.
bag of candy. I don't
But
know.
yeah, I've never got it. Like I've never understood it. I don't. I mean, I get the fear because it potentially could happen. There's sick fucking people out there,
Yeah,
but I don't know. To me, it's unwarranted.
yeah,
Like
it's so
no one's gonna
stupid.
give their drugs away. I could see the razor blade thing though.
Well,
Like
because people are sick.
people are fucking disgusting, right? Like I could absolutely see something like that happening, but not somebody
Yeah,
giving away their fucking drugs. Like fuck that. Drugs are expensive.
yeah. I know. I agree. I never believed the drug ones either.
No.
Um, Speaking of somebody who should be on drugs, Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr.,
Uh,
he tweeted out yesterday. He thinks he's smart and he thinks he's funny. He tweeted out a picture of his daughter with
yeah.
her Halloween candy, and said, "I'm going to take half of Chloe's candy tonight and give it to some kid who sat at home. It's
Yeah.
never too early to teach her about socialism."
I mean, wrong way of going about it there, bud. But I get what you're laying down. Because I said the same shit. I said I was going to dress up as Bernie Sanders this year and take fucking, just take handfuls of candies out of kids' fucking bags and give them to the kids that are too lazy to trick or treat. But
he must have been listening to the show.
yeah,
But I loved he of course got burned so
oh,
hard by Twitter.
absolutely.
Um, I like Zach Braff.
Hmm.
He said she was given candy for free.
Yep.
You inherited all your money. You met with Russian spies, and it's TOO.
It's so true. Like you see all these like quote unquote grammar Nazis on fucking online, but they still don't understand how the difference between two, and two. Like fuck out of here.
And I would assume Don went to a good university.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Like
The Canada Party, I don't know what that is. This is their Twitter. It's TOO, not two, as in it's never too late for Chloe to teach you grade 2 English.
yeah, really though. Like it's just so funny that like these are always the people that are spouting off. You know what I mean? The people that don't even understand simple spelling and grammar and shit like that. But yeah, you're constantly the ones online spouting off. Like,
was it him or his brother that did the bowl of M&Ms last time, or Reese's Pieces, and said one of them is a terrorist in the bowl, and are you going to take a handful?
Yeah, even if one of these is fucking poison, would you take? Like, fuck out of here. Yes, I would, because my love of candy, fucking like, it does away with my better fucking judgment. Fuck out of here, you idiot. Like, if one of those dollar bills your dad handed you was coated with fucking like herpes, are you still gonna touch it? Of course you are, you money grubbing asshole. Like, shut the fuck up.
Exactly. But yeah, I love the point. Everybody's saying like she didn't work for that candy; it was free.
Yeah, it was. It's given to people, given out by people just for being kind. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
It's It was a dumb thing. I mean, again, I get what he was trying to say. I do, because I said the same shit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not under that kind of scrutiny. Like, I mean, I know there's people out there that hate me, but not to the point that they fucking hate anyone with the last name Trump. So, like, I don't really have to worry about that level of fucking hate when I say stupid shit.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's update just a couple updates. I don't want to talk about it too long, but we talked about Paul Manafort on Monday and how he is in charge. He's out on house arrest right now. But CNN has released, I haven't seen any other verification of this anywhere, but CNN is releasing the story that Manafort has 3 passports.
Jesus.
And he's traveled to China with a phone registry. You don't have to give your phone number, right?
Yeah.
Under a fake name. He did that within the last year, I believe I read in the article.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's guilty. I'm sorry. I know innocent to proven guilty, but nobody has that many passports.
Isn't just having fake passports against the law? Like right there, shouldn't that be something he should go to jail for?
Put any fake information on into your passport, I mean, I would assume it's the same in America and Canada. That's against it's against the law. You can be arrested.
So I don't understand how any of this works.
Yeah, so it says this year he traveled to Mexico, China, and Ecuador with a phone and email account registered under a fake name.
Yeah,
over the past year, he traveled to Dubai, Cancun, Panama City, Havana, Shanghai, Madrid, Tokyo, and Grand Cayman Islands. Oh, he's going to a lot of the places where you can hide money.
Yeah, really. No, that's not right.
His assets went in 2012. He had assets were about 19 million, right? By May of 2016, so 4 years later, he had assets of up to about 136 million.
Huh.
Yeah. They're saying he laundered money through American companies through apparently spent $1 million in exotic rugs. And of course, 45 that's not my friend. I had nothing to do with him. He did all that bad stuff when I didn't know him.
Yeah.
But you still hired him.
Yeah.
Ran your campaign on election night. You credited him with helping you win.
Mm-hmm. I can't get over that. That's against the law. Boom, right there. That's against the law. 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You can't have a fake identity.
No. And apparently, this is the juicy bit. I'm waiting for this to come out. One of these guys, a Trump advisor, he was arrested a couple months ago. Okay. And he's already pled guilty to, I guess he made some deals, so he got lesser charges. But the assumption is that he's been wearing a wire for the last 3 or 4 months.
Huh.
So it should be interesting to see what comes out of that stuff.
Yeah.
Some juicy stuff.
Hopefully. Or it could just turn out to be a fucking another bust, right?
Well, I mean, the Manafort stuff is juicy at the very least.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, I'm sure he's not the only one. Let's see what's going on. I'm really excited.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I 100% doubt that this will bring down Trump because I don't think anything's going to bring down Trump.
No.
But if all his little hangers-on get arrested, at least that will make me happy.
Yeah.
Another update we talked about way back. I can't remember when we talked about it. I guess in August. The Navy ships that were collisions and soldiers died.
Yeah.
So just this morning, just before the show, the New York Times has a story about there's been I guess the official inquiry has come out and they've got reports. So they have officially said that the deaths and the collisions were avoidable. They said it the first one the one that happened in June by the destroyer Fitzgerald, the collision could have been avoided by let me see what they said. That the crew and leadership on board failed to plan for safety, to adhere to sound navigation practices, to carry out basic watch practices, to properly use available navigation tools, and to respond effectively in a crisis. So, I mean, they didn't have a safety plan at the very least.
I just figured they were drunk.
Yeah, that's part of my
drunk on the job, yeah.
And in the case of the John S. McCain that happened in August, they concluded that the collision resulted from a loss of situational awareness while responding to mistakes in the operation of the ship's steering and propulsion systems in the highly trafficked waters. I remember you saying that was a big shipping lane. So whoever was in charge of the boat didn't steer the ship properly. I guess is the only thing.
Yeah, again, how do you do it? The ocean, it's big. There's enough space for
Yeah.
y'all. Like, there's no reason for fucking collisions.
Well, these are like high-tech machinery. It should be telling. Do you not get an alert where it's like proximity
You'd
alert?
think,
Proximity
right?
alert.
With
I
all the
don't know.
radar and fucking.
I mean, you can get a car that does that now.
And I mean, like you're talking military vessels with highly trained fucking seamen on it, and you're crashing the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that's what I was like. I remember when we talked about it, I was like, I can't wait to see what comes out of this. I know that 2 or 3 of the generals were fired or demoted last month. So
it's just, how do you have a worse track record than the guy that fucking got caught drunk driving 23 fucking times? Like,
yeah.
you have more crashes under your belt than a fucking like habitual fucking drunk driver.
True. Jesus.
For fuck's sake.
It was 28 times, by the way.
28.
That number is seared into my memory. Is how
fucking
crazy that number is.
But yeah, like, how are you worse than this fucking asshole?
Yeah, I mean, at least they did something. They demoted these guys or fired them, whatever they did.
Mm-hmm.
But and I hope I would assume 100% that they're going to try to put in some better practices to keep people safe. But we'll see.
Fuck's sakes.
Okay, so let's talk about this next story because I mean, if we lived in Britain, this would affect both of us.
Yes, it would.
There's, I guess it's just one area. No, okay, let me say this. Right now in Britain, they have the National Health Service, which is, basically universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
One local health committee wants to change the policy, I guess. Yeah. Oh, do we have? Oh, I thought, is that Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, you finally finished your Botox?
Good morning.
Good morning. We're talking about a story about the British National Health Service. So this one area in UK wants to change how it's not, what do you call it when you need not optional, when you need surgery but it's not health related.
Not
elective. That's the word I was trying to think of. Thank you. So anything that's an elective surgery, I guess, but it's not even really elective. If you need a knee or hip replacement, you kind of need that. But I guess it's not life-threatening. If you're overweight or you smoke, they're going to delay it by 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay. You have 9 months to quit smoking. Oh, sorry, 8 weeks to quit smoking and 9 months to lose weight.
Oh.
You can't get your surgery.
It's so fucking stupid. I'm overweight. I need a knee replacement, and you're telling me to get on a fucking treadmill.
Exactly. You're not going to get people off the couch that way.
You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, now granted, if you need immediate surgery because, you have a heart condition or your appendix is about to burst, of course you're going to get your surgery. Mm-hmm. If you have cancer, you're going to get your cancer, chemo. Treatments. Yeah. But for like we're saying, if you have carpal tunnel and you need carpal tunnel syndrome, you're probably not going to get it if you're a smoker. You're going to have to wait your 8 weeks.
Yeah.
That's of a little
crazy.
That's almost like it's redlining. Oh, you get services because you're not smoking.
It's discrimination.
And they've proven, I mean, now, I guess they already do it to some degree in the UK, but they've proven that it hasn't saved them any money.
Of course not.
And I will say this, at least they're giving free counseling to people or weight loss groups. So if you have to lose weight, there are weight loss groups that are free for you to join. Mm-hmm. But still, I mean, come on.
I don't know.
I'm surprised people aren't suing them.
Oh, they will. I mean, this just came around, right? Like, this is just happening. So, I mean, I'm sure once the body positivity movement catches wind of this, there will be a shitstorm. Unfortunately, like, for me being a smoker, like, we're second-class citizens. It just is what it is. I get it. It's a dirty habit, and, any kind of motivation you can use to fucking maybe motivate someone to fucking give it up. I kind of get that. But
do you think people are going to do it? Like, okay, people have lung cancer and don't quit smoking.
Yeah, fucking right.
To get your knee replaced, Arthur, do you think people are really going to quit smoking for that?
No.
No. I mean, people know. I know I shouldn't eat a double cheeseburger with bacon. Mm-hmm. But do you think I stop? No.
No. I'm still gonna eat 4 of those and smoke 3 fucking cigarettes directly after. So fuck you, UK.
Yeah. Now I did read this. I didn't know it was this high. Apparently, 63% of the UK is overweight. That's a big number.
That is a big number.
Yeah, adults, I should say. Sorry. And 15% are smokers. You know, when I watch Big Brother UK, I would say almost everybody smokes when I watch that show.
I will say that smoking in the UK, in Europe, really is kind of big. Almost everybody smokes.
I was really shocked by that when I was there. Like how many people I seen smoking on the streets. Like it wasn't like here, you know, where you see a few, but you know, you're kind of looked down at. But there it was just everybody was fucking smoking.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid. I do look at it as a form of discrimination.
It is, absolutely.
Which is weird for me to say because I'm never that person that fucking cries discrimination, but it really is. Like, there's no other way for me personally to look at that.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's to me because I'm not a smoker. I don't like smoking. I think if somebody wants to smoke, as long as it's still legal, how are you going to tell them not to smoke?
Exactly.
But what about drinking?
Yeah.
You know, people drink a lot in the UK. People drink a lot.
Yeah, pub culture it's the end thing.
Why aren't drinkers? Or for that matter, what about drug addicts? Are there hip replacements delayed till they get off the drugs?
Doubt it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of double standards like that though, right?
Yeah,
like you know, as much as smoking is a choice, and it is, tobacco is highly fucking addictive.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of is the equivalent of heroin. Maybe not the effect, but it's just as fucking hard to get off.
Yeah, no, I give a credit to anybody who quits smoking. I give a lot of respect and credit for it because that's super hard.
I've tried a few times, and it's definitely been the hardest fucking thing I've ever done in my life. But
I don't think a smoker actually proud of their smoking. Like, I'm not proud that I'm a smoker. I'm not proud of it, you know. But at the end of the day, everybody has a bad fucking habit. Like, some people pick their noses in public. You don't see delaying their fucking surgery for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know.
But yeah, it's definitely discriminatory. And when someone dies because of this, I mean, right now, of course, it's non-urgent care, but still, what if because I didn't get my knee surgery or my hip surgery, I didn't get out of bed, or I'm too weak and I finally get out of bed and I fucking fall and kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, like the smoking thing, again, I can understand that, even as a smoker, and as much as it may or may not fucking, you know, offend me or whatever, I get it. The overweight thing, though, kind of, that one rubbed me the wrong way.
I get, and I mean, I understand sometimes you have to lose weight to get surgery because it's dangerous to put you under.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, I've seen my 600-pound life. They always tell them to lose weight because it's dangerous to put you under the bigger you are. But
I love that.
Oh, I can't watch it. It upsets me. It's just like, no, they almost always die before they get better. It's sad. Yeah.
Fuck the UK, I guess. Like,
fuck you, UK.
Yeah, like, get your heads at your asses. I don't know. Like, again, as much as I see the merit behind what they're trying to say, at the same point in time, like, you can't refuse medical treatment based on someone's personal choice.
Yeah, I think it's a slippery slope.
Right.
Oh, we're not going to give you any, you know, medicine for your AIDS because you're a drug addict.
Right. Right.
You know?
Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid. I know it's only in the one kind of community or area or fucking district, whatever the fuck they want to call it. But shit like this spreads. Bad ideas love spreading, you know?
Mm-hmm. Whenever you can, discriminate somebody.
Exactly.
Legally.
Yeah. People love flocking on that. Fucking.
Yeah. Okay, I saved this story for when Ryan showed up because I know he'll have the same reaction as me. This woman, I don't know if they give her name. Anyway, a lady went into Sephora and she wanted to buy some makeup, which, you know, many people do. They love Sephora, not me. But she used the sample lipstick and she claims she got herpes from it on her mouth. Duh. Like, I don't know about Sephora because I don't really go there. But since I was a kid trying on, getting makeup from Walmart or Shoppers Drug Mart or Woolco, really back in the day, you didn't use the samples because you could get herpes.
Yeah.
Cold sores.
Any kind.
Yeah, you didn't put it on your mouth. I mean, we did little swatches on the back of our hands.
But why would anybody do that? I mean, it's
That's
not even
my
common
thing.
sense.
I think she doesn't deserve anything from Sephora. She deserves her herpes for putting it on her face. What an idiot.
Yeah, really though.
Is she suing?
Yeah.
She's suing them.
No way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she is.
You can't sue them.
Oh,
Well, she's going to try. You're talking about
try.
sue culture in America.
Exactly. I mean,
Well, actually, there's this funny meme about Canada and America on Facebook that I've been seeing lately, and it's this coffee container in Canada that says, "If it were another country, we'd have to tell you it was hot."
Yeah, our McDonald's has hot coffee, and so does our Tim's.
well, yeah, because we don't want to get sued. Like, civil shit happens here, but it's definitely not to that level.
No. But, I will say this about that lady that got burnt and started the hot coffee. I've seen pictures of her. I saw that documentary.
Yeah.
That coffee destroyed her inner thighs.
Yeah.
Like, I never saw burns like that from, somebody that wasn't in a fire or an acid attack.
But what,
It was really hard.
But what kind of coffee was it? Like, was it crazy?
It was hot. It was like McDonald's. Was it McDonald's coffee?
Yeah.
I want to say. And it was hot.
No.
She bought it and she put it between her legs while she was doing something with her seatbelt, I think, and it spilled all over her and her thighs. And but it was like, I want to say it was like 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh.
That was enough to give her fucking 3rd-degree burns. I know that much.
Yeah, it was bad burns. If you ever have a stomach for it, you should look it up. It's horrendous.
But I mean,
but yeah, apparently they have the little spoolies that you can use to try lipstick and stuff. But I guess they're not that on every single shelf, and I guess she didn't see them, or whoever had the herpes didn't see them. I would never put the open makeup anywhere on my skin. I look at it, if I don't like it, I'd give it away to somebody after.
it's just.
How do you say this? As a professional makeup artist? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You don't even double dip.
No, that's what's killing me. I just duh. I wonder, is it? Good luck, lady.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna win.
To me, though, going in and putting anything on your mouth in a fucking store is as stupid as going into a Subway and licking the fucking poles or the handles or some shit.
Exactly.
You're stupid. You're asking for whatever the fuck's gonna come to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She'll probably get a settlement.
Oh,
I'm sure they'll give her a settlement out of court. But they shouldn't. They should be like, fuck you.
Oh, I'm with you there, but it's not gonna work. She's gonna get awarded something.
Jesus.
I mean, and again, prove it. Prove that you didn't fucking walk in there with a fucking face full of herpes.
Well, that's my kind of worry. How does she know that that's where she got it?
Right?
Because you don't know what she was doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And who knows what other store she went in and tried random makeup on.
Yeah.
Maybe she went into freaking, I don't know where they sell makeup in the drugstore. I don't know.
No, the testers at the drug. There's no testers in the drugstore.
I don't know. Maybe she went to some makeup counter in a department store or something.
A department store, yeah, because that's the only other place. There's only Sephora and the other stores.
Or maybe she just kissed one of the 11 million guys in America that have mouth herpes.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago.
But I've seen it though. I've went to the mall, into the Bay, and I've seen women in there essentially getting ready for dates with all the sample makeup, going in there and just putting all this sample shit all over their faces, and
because they're crazy.
Oh, because they're
That's
crazy.
Gross. You
And
can get a free makeup freaking makeover, and they give you nice clean makeup when they do it.
Yeah, but they always make the chicks end up looking like streetwalkers, and so I don't blame them for
Love
fucking
that.
trying to do it themselves.
That's my favorite look.
Yeah.
I went there one time before I had my kids, and they put a weird orange lipstick on me. I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, but I mean, good luck, lady.
Yeah.
Have fun with that, because that shit's forever.
Yeah, you got the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. Suck it. Actually, don't. I don't want herpes.
Yeah, true. let's talk now that Ryan's here. This will be a fun story to talk about. It's not really a story. This morning, Logan was making fun of me about my phobias. So I looked up on I Fucking Love Science on Facebook. The 10 most. I don't know if it's 10. The most common phobias. We'll see if we share them or if we have our own unique phobias. So number 1 is heights, which is understandable. A lot of people are afraid of heights. Ryan, are you afraid of heights?
I have vertigo. Oh.
Oh, okay. Snakes.
Another one that makes sense.
I'm only afraid of poisonous snakes. Like, I mean, if I've had a python on my shoulders, that doesn't scare me.
That's evolutionary.
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of fears that are they're so widespread due to evolution. Right? Like, I mean, we had to be scared of snakes and spiders when we were still, living in huts and in the jungle and shit like that. Yeah. They'd fucking kill you.
Or if you live in Australia.
Right, yeah. Fucking crazy.
Public speaking.
Yeah.
No.
I get that. Spiders, of course. We just mentioned that. Being in small spaces. Claustrophobia. I get that. I'm...
Oh, yes. I'm claustrophobic.
I am now. Especially now that I'm, like, fatter. I feel like I'll get stuck in these small places, so those are more scary now. You don't understand because you're skinny. Mice, which I'm afraid of.
Oh my god, I am afraid of them. They will attack me.
Yeah, I'm scared of mice. Needles or getting shots. My husband and my daughter are afraid of needles.
Yeah.
Flying on an airplane. I've never been on a plane, but I think I would be afraid.
There's nothing to be scared of.
I know, but fears aren't make sense.
Yeah.
Crowds.
Crowds?
Like being in a close crowd. Oh. Yeah, I can see why that.
I thought you said sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Although I probably am afraid of that. Clowns is number 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clowns can be scary.
I guess.
Okay, so were your phobias on the list, Ryan? Or do you have any other phobias?
I have a very, very weird phobia, and it's fear of there's pictures always that show up on Facebook of these little holes on people's bodies.
Oh, you got the hole phobia.
Trypophobia.
Yeah, and oh my god, just thinking about it right now, the hairs on my body are
I don't mind holes as long as there's not things in them, like the ones where they look like little worms are about to come out. Those ones gross me out.
That's the one. That's
Bot flies and shit like that.
Yeah, that's gross. I don't want to see that. But I'm not afraid of holes. Like I can look at things. But what about you, Arthur? Do you have a?
Yes, I'm what's known as thalassophobic, meaning I am fucking scared shitless of open water.
Oh, yeah, you were saying that when you were on the boat in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and it's the God's honest truth. Like, I am scared fucking shitless of the ocean. Like, it is just fucking terrifying. Like, you'd never get me out in the middle of the ocean swimming. Like,
I wouldn't do that. That's where sharks live.
Right now, I can feel my body tensing up. Like when I was out fishing a couple years ago off the coast of the Dominican and the whales came. That was the first thing I thought. Was like, if this is deep enough for whales, like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But that's my only real fear. Like, that's my only phobia. Like that unreasonable kind of there's just nothing I can do to kind of stop that. Everything else to me, I always feel like I can reason myself out of it.
Exactly. Like I mean, claustrophobia, I have that, but you know what I mean? Like, I found out I was claustrophobic because I was shoved into a fucking MRI machine when I was 8.
Yeah.
It was fucking creepy. Yeah. It felt like you were in a thing, and it wasn't. It was head first, so my head was at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people get freaked out in this, because you're so confined in there. I have a few phobias, many phobias to be honest, but one that I don't think is that weird. I'm afraid of things that dangle, like elevators, or like a Ferris wheel or the Alpine sort of things. Oh. Those things scare me because I really think that the wires are going to snap. I'm not afraid of heights.
Yeah, it's more a fear of falling.
Yeah, that dangly shit, and I'm in a little thing and it's going to fall and I'm splatted, right? Yeah. That scares me. I have a fear of throwing up. I have since I was little. When I know I'm going to throw up, I'm crying. if Logan's home, he has to hold my hand. I'm like really afraid to throw up.
That's
Thank God I did not have morning sickness when I was pregnant.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Someone scared to throw up.
That's a new one. I am scared to throw up. I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
And then my biggest one, I don't know if it's a real phobia or it's shame. I can't poo in public.
Me too. Oh yeah.
It's my pooing in public.
That's just shame.
It's my shame.
Yeah, shame.
Like,
I like that. I mean, I've never understood that one. That one's always just kind of been a weird one to me. Like, if I gotta take a crap, I'm gonna take a shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, does it stink? Yeah, it's poop. Fuck out of here. Like, it's not supposed to smell like fucking
and
roses.
I don't want to hear anybody else's poop either, or smell anybody else's poop.
Like, I get that. Like, the loud grunters and shit like that. Like, you don't need that. Like, it's not a production there, Joe. Like, just get the fuck out. Get the fucking job done. Get the fuck out. But
if you have to push that hard, it's not time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go see a doctor, man. Get a laxative. Like, calm down. Stop eating a diet that has fucking cheese covered everything 3 times a day. Like, you know.
I have the opposite problem if I eat cheese. There's no holding it back.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know where I seen this or read this, but fear isn't a real emotion. It's your brain thinking about the future, about the bad things that could potentially happen.
Yeah.
So through that is why I can say that I don't have many phobias, except for, again, my fear of open water.
Yeah.
But even that, though, I tried to conquer because I knew that it's the water itself isn't scary. It's my mind going, well, what if the boat tips? What if a wave comes and fucking you know what I mean? It's
what if a humpback whale swims under the boat?
Oh, fuck that fucking whale. Fuck that whale. I hope that fucking whale didn't get laid that entire year. Fuck you with it. But
maybe it was that lonely whale that doesn't sing the right song and can't find any other whales to be with.
Who are you talking about?
When Arthur was down in the Bahama or in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
He was in a boat and a humpback whale was swimming all around their boat and swam under their boat.
Under the boat.
Oh, no, but I mean, there's a whale that doesn't know how to
There's
sing.
a whale that sings the wrong song. So it sings, but it's not singing the song that the other whales know. And so it swims the ocean by itself for like 40 years.
Oh, I think I know who that whale is.
There's a few different theories.
It's not a person.
Oh, okay. Well, because this whale that I know, I think his last name is Latin. He doesn't know how to sing either.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! That's some fucking shade right there, bud. But yeah, no, it's I found that by knowing that, just that little tidbit, of knowing that it's just your brain. It's just your brain playing tricks on you, where you're just constantly thinking about the worst that could happen. Has helped me a lot. Like, I'm still uneasy on heights. I can't say that I'm scared. Like, I don't have a phobia of heights.
Yeah.
But once I can kind of get my mind around the just shutting it off, saying, "Shut up, asshole!" Like, you're on this roof to do a job. Just do the fucking job. It really helped.
I think it would depend on what I was on. Like, if I was on like a mountain cliff.
Yeah,
that would be much scarier, obviously.
And I've experienced that as well in Iceland. Like, we were driving on this fucking mountain, and right next to us, no guardrail. We're talking 600-foot fucking drop into straight death. And now it was terrifying. It was fucking scary as shit. But that wasn't because of me thinking about it. It was because of the fucking 600 meter per second fucking wind coming off the other side of the mountain, pushing us towards the fucking cliff.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
It was real fucking scary shit. I'm happy we lived through it because now I got this badass fucking Iceland story to tell. But
although I will say, when I was down east and we went on to the only really cliff I stood on, we went down to the Cape Breton. We were at the museum for the miners, and they have like just an open cliff at a field, and you stand there at the edge of the world. And I wasn't afraid at all. I mean, my only worry would have been like, oh, maybe it's rained too much and it's about to collapse at the edge. Don't stand too close to the edge. But no, I'm not afraid of heights. I like heights.
I feel like fears constantly change. Like Ryan brought up that trypophobia.
Yeah.
Everything that I've ever seen about that says it's not a real phobia, and it's just something that's kind of new because of that one photoshopped image that's been circulating the internet for a few years of this weird,
maybe it's
freaky
just because it's kind of gross and it makes your stomach turn.
I think that's what it is. And I mean, like, from an evolutionary standpoint, we should have a kind of icky feeling when we're looking at open holes into like a human body or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Stop, you guys. Oh my god.
But do you remember? I mean, did you ever watch Maury Povich? He used to always have the fears, people with fears. And I to this day I remember, and it made me laugh. But I can understand why they were scared. The person that was afraid of cotton. And then they, of course, what does Maury Povich do? He gets somebody in an outfit literally covered in cotton balls and says, "Here's Cotton Ball Man," and out come, and the lady, of course, runs for the hills. Like, oh my gosh, I would kind of be afraid though. If somebody came at me just all in cotton balls.
Really?
Yeah, it'd just be like weird. Why are you doing that? You must be crazy, and I would run from you.
I don't know. To me, that's just funny as fuck.
But yeah, I love Maury Povich. You're like, oh, what? You're deathly afraid of spiders? Here, put your hand in this spider tank. Yeah.
That's not a good, like, that's not a good way of trying to.
You need psychological counseling to start with.
Yeah.
Build yourself up. Just throw like rats on a person.
Rats. Right here.
Ryan's ordering coffee again.
Yeah, but to be scared to be scared of an inanimate object to me though is just kind of foolish.
Some people are.
I know, but to me that's just foolish because there's.
But you got to think, what kind of trauma did they have in their lives to be afraid of those things?
Yeah, but then you're. I don't know.
Maybe it becomes almost the opposite of fetishized. You know, instead of being sexually, it just it's terrorizing them. Like, I mean, I guess if you got beat with a ruler every day for your life, when you saw the ruler, you might get scared, even if you're like 45 years old.
That's weird. If you're going to be that afraid of a ruler, you need help.
Yeah, but if you were beaten hard with a ruler every day, it would be not unusual for you to be afraid of rulers afterwards, right?
Shouldn't you be afraid of the person doling out the punishment?
Yeah, but still, your mind is not always rational.
No, that's a fair point.
Right? Anyway, let's move on. I'm sure I'll find more phobias to talk about at some point.
Eventually, yeah.
This one pissed me off. So this guy, he lives in Fredericton, which is in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
He's on social assistance. They don't have much money. And he got a backpack donated to his son, who's going into grade 3, with pencils and notebooks and, coloring things and everything that he would need for school. When the kid got to school, he was sent back home with all the supplies, and the teacher said, "No, we're collecting $40 per children to pay for all the supplies, and everybody will have the exact same supplies."
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
He says he doesn't have $40, and I think even if he had $40, fuck you.
Yeah, no, absolutely, go fuck yourself. There's no way that the shit that the teacher bought equals $40 fucking for that kid.
Well, it just says they get deals because they buy in bulk.
Yeah.
So you probably only paid like $10.
Exactly. Like, you're not making money off this fucking student, and you're stripping the fucking choice away from the parents of what supplies the child should have, because you don't want any kid in the class to have something that another kid has to forego any kind of jealousy. Fuck that shit. Welcome to life.
Yeah.
People have fucking Beamers, and other people are driving around Honda Civics. You don't think that guy in the Civic's going, fuck, man, I really wish I had a BMW. Welcome to life.
Exactly.
Suck it the fuck up.
Or the people standing at the bus stop watching the Honda Civic go by, wish I had a Honda Civic.
Wish I had a Honda Civic, exactly. Like, shut the fuck up.
And then so it's not school policy. It's 15 of the 19 teachers at the school are doing it this year. But apparently what's worse is the dad was outside across the street with some other parents waiting for the kids to come out of school. And the assistant principal literally left the school property, crossed the street, and started to question him in front of other parents about this $40.
Yeah, it's a bad fucking taste.
Fuck you bastard.
Yeah.
And if it's not school policy, how dare you do that?
Absolutely.
I would have beat him up. Like, I would have been like, suck my dick.
It's true enough, I'll give a lot of respect to that father for not losing his shit to be put on fucking blast like that, not only in front of his own kids, but exactly, like, fuck that shit. Fuck you. That's so dumb.
That's ridiculous. I remember when Marley was in, I guess, grade 7 or grade 8, like, she kept saying that they wanted her to bring in a box of tissue for the class, and I'm like, no. I'm like, you can bring some tissue and put it in your bag or in your desk if they don't want you to use their tissue. I have no problem. I could buy freaking a whole box of tissues for them. You know, like, you know, a 6-pack.
Yeah.
But you're not telling me what I have to bring in.
I just don't understand the thinking behind this.
Well, there's some schools, I've been seeing lists. The teachers sent home a list of what they want the parents to buy, and it includes tissues and hand sanitizer, and then they supply it and the class uses it.
Okay.
No. You don't tell me. If you said, you know what, does anybody want to volunteer these items?
Yeah.
I would probably buy them.
Yeah.
But when you tell me the kids have to bring it in, that's where my back gets up, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
When you mandate somebody, like you don't... The thing is, too, people have to remember, I say this all the time, actually at work, you don't know other people's socioeconomic backgrounds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't know their financial situation. That $40 could be a difference in dinner tonight or dinner for the week and not eating. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you mandate somebody to do that, no, I'm not saying this is the teacher's fault. I'm not saying it's anybody's fault. I'm saying it's like, maybe it's a lack of funding. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, I get it. Teachers are taking, you know, buying supplies with their own money. And I get there's a lot of teachers that do that. But like Arthur said, I don't think it costs $40 per student. Like, if the class is 20 kids and it's $40, what's that, $800? I'm not good at math. I don't think you need $800 in books and pencil crayons for a year.
Fuck no. Fuck no. Like, what is this, med school?
Yeah, exactly.
No, fuck that shit. That's stupid as fuck. And I hope that fucking vice principal faces some backlash for that public shaming.
Yeah. And what's hysterical is they publicly questioned him on the street in front of his peers.
Yeah.
Right? And then when the CBC contacted them for comment, they said they couldn't discuss personal details.
Yeah, right? Fuck out of here.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell a very personal story about that. When I was in 8th grade, I'll never forget, a teacher had said to me, why are you wearing, or why have you been wearing the same kind of shirt all the time? Can't you tell your parents to buy you a different shirt?
They should know better.
I remember looking at the teacher like, what is wrong with you? Like, you know, because it was like, I've always been under the impression, like, for me, I like uniforms. You just buy a shitload of, you know, one polo or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And you wear that. Like, I call that my uniform. It simplifies my life. I hate too many options sometimes. But, like, to publicly shame somebody, like, again, you don't know someone's financial backings. Like, you don't know what's going on with their life, if they have situations going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean you don't have child support to pay, right? Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're not in debt. So it's like, you can't mandate some $40. That's a lot of, you know, that's a lot. For some people, that's a lot.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, in the story, it says, like, buddy, they just had a kid, you know? So, unfortunately, most of the money's going to have to go to, you know, making sure that infant fucking lives.
That lack of diapers.
Exactly.
No, that story pisses me off, and it takes a lot to kind of make me mad. You know what I mean? But that one did. It rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I know that schools are definitely underfunded, and I know they have to do things to raise money and stuff.
Yeah.
But to demand $40 from people, and like, really, like we said about, you know, IDs and American stuff, sometimes people literally don't have that money. People are going to jail over $20 tickets.
Exactly.
Right? Some people don't have. I see people come into my work and they're counting out dimes and nickels.
Yeah.
You know? And they're always like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. Money's money. I'm not going to make somebody feel bad. I've had to count out my dimes and nickels before, you know? And I know back when the kids were little, if they had asked for $40, I mean, I probably would have had it at some point, but
not right away.
You know, I would have been hard pressed because we were in a tight situation a couple times, you know?
One of the things that really pissed me off about this, though, is after reading the article, I went through some of the comments that were left on the article.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of people chirping about the fact that the dad had tattoos. Oh, well, can't pay $40 to the school, but he has money for tattoos. Or, oh, really nice car you're driving there, bud. You can't just sell your car to get, like, go fuck yourself.
You know, sell your car to give $40 supplies to your kid's school?
The kid's in grade 3, so what's that? How old is he?
But he used to have a job, and now they're both. The lady had a baby, and he's on disability.
So like, it's just go fuck yourself.
You're not making like $3,000 a month in disability, people.
This is the thing, and I want to write this to the asshole that left that fucking nice car comment. You've obviously never been to New Brunswick.
Yeah.
You know, walking in public transport isn't a fucking option out there. You need a fucking vehicle. Like,
yeah.
I hate that. I kind of hate that
down
mentality.
East, yeah, there's like most of the cities don't have any kind of bus.
Like you're commenting from the scope of you living in a fucking city where everything is so just there. It's fucking there. You can get anywhere either by foot or bus or train. You can't do that when you're living out in the fucking boonies in the Maritimes or in the fucking boonies out west. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Pull your fucking head out your ass. If it's that fucking egregious to you, forward the fucking $40 to this father.
Yeah, and that's where he's probably putting his money on his car payments and his insurance, I hope.
Fuck out of here.
You know? Jesus.
People
I know, and he made sure to say that, and because he knew people were going to say it, his wife and himself don't smoke or drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, no, exactly. You knew somebody was going to fucking bring that up. Like, somebody was going to say something.
Maybe he got the tattoos when he was living a better life.
Right?
Yeah.
Before he had
fall
kids.
down on their luck a lot of times.
Oh my God! You don't have to say that twice.
Yeah, like just we're such a judgmental society.
Well, absolutely.
And I mean, I judge people too, but when they're down on their luck, I try not to judge people. Come on.
Like when I hear somebody's like, "Oh, I'm going through a rough time right now," like all of a sudden my judgmental hat comes off, and they like, I can only imagine what you're going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, people who go on job interviews, right? You're dressed very, very nicely. Sometimes you're in designer clothing, but maybe you don't have a job. You haven't had a job in months. Yeah. And you're dressed nicely because you have to impress.
Well, and you had those clothes. It's not like you went out and bought a new wardrobe yesterday. You probably had clothes from previous times, or you went to the secondhand store.
Yeah. Or borrowed even.
Yeah.
I know people who borrowed.
Yeah, exactly.
People just like run their fucking mouths. We're kind of all guilty about it, but
oh yeah, I'm judgmental as shit. Look, I just was gleefully laughing at Paul Manafort and stuff, right?
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's a little different. Laughing at somebody who has had the world handed to them is one thing, but I mean, as far as the average fucking citizen goes, there's a huge lack of empathy, especially when it's really regards to something that we don't have to go through.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I hope there's some backlash from this, and I kind of hope this this family kind of gets the last laugh on the school. I really do.
Me too. Me too. Okay, let's talk about this last story. I mean, it's not a huge story, and it doesn't really surprise me, but Angus Reid Institute did a poll last week with Canadian citizens asking about niqabs and banning them. So the question they asked was, as far as you're concerned, do you personally think that the following should be, and the question was, a woman visiting a government office in a niqab, whether they should be allowed to wear the veil out in public. So they were specifically targeting Quebec people because this bill went through in Quebec about women wearing niqabs in government buildings and stuff. Yeah. So of course 70% agreed with it in Quebec. But I found it interesting. The rest of Canada, 40% agreed that they should be prohibited. 31% said discouraged but tolerated. And then 28% said welcomed. So you have more than 50% of Canadians basically tolerating it at the very least.
Yeah.
Which I found, a little interesting. I didn't know it would be that high. But then later on into the article, it says, I want to read it because it was funny. Your own province was considering a similar law requiring people providing or receiving government services to do so with their faces uncovered. So now remember, we had like 50%, over 50% agreeing that, they would tolerate it. 70% of the country said they would support a law in their own province.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. Now, I kind of fall on the tolerate but don't like it. Like, I really do think that it is kind of controlling a woman and, but I feel like if a woman wants to wear it, who am I to tell her not to do it? Right?
Well,
but I do, yeah.
That's the thing here. You're not
discouraged but tolerated.
You're not allowed to tell people here what they can and can't wear. Right? Unless it's like blatantly fucking racist or something like that, then you know what I mean. We're not allowed to say that kind of shit.
Showing your vagina and your
exactly
your balls,
right?
yeah.
Now, since this debate's come up, I've always been on the side of I do not like the niqab or the burqa. I flat out don't, because I don't agree with anonymity in public. I believe that anonymity can create a lot of issues. It can create, it can potentially create a lot of problems. Now, I'm not one of these people that is always looking at the bad side of things, going, oh, but what if this happens, and what if this happens? But I personally don't like it. Motorcycle riders can attest to this. They have to remove their helmets while going into a gas station. It should be no different for any other face covering, Now, the thing with the Quebec thing that really pissed me off was like how they have to take it off while they're riding the bus. Well, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Go
that's
fuck
not
yourself.
Necessary. You don't even have a picture on your bus pass.
Right, exactly.
So it's not like you have to even confirm who you are.
I wasn't too big on that. There's a few things about this that just rub me the wrong way. I mean, again, if you want to wear a burqa, fine, by all means, wear the burqa. If you're driving a car and you get pulled over, I'm sorry, you have to show your face. You don't get special treatment. You don't need to wait for a female officer, so blah, blah, blah. No, fuck you. No. We need to see your identification. Flat out.
Yeah.
You can't argue that here.
Yeah, that's what I agree with that too. I don't have a problem. Like I said a million times, women come into my work all the time and they're wearing a niqab or a burqa. I have no problem with them. I serve them. I treat them the same as I treat every other customer. But yeah, if a cop pulls you over, you have to testify in court, or you have to get your driver's license or your passport. You have to show your face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how the hell are you going to travel with a freaking? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Well, it blows my mind. Have you ever seen like a picture from like Saudi Arabia? Or I guess not Saudi Arabia, a country where a woman is allowed to legally wear a burqa, and they get their driver's license? It's literally just eyes.
Exactly.
Like, and we don't have eye scanning technology everywhere yet, so it's not like,
The other thing I want to bring up in regards to this is people need to stop saying that the burqa and the niqab are religious, because they're not. There is nothing in the Quran or Islam itself that says that a woman has to have her entire face covered. It's only the head covering.
And that's not even necessary. I work with girls from Afghanistan, and they don't cover their hair.
No, it's not necessary, but that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. Is that when somebody claims that, like, my personal detest, I guess, for the burqa is Islamophobic. Well, no, because it's not from Islam. What it's from is the controlling of women.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's not even that.
Or I know a lot of, women wear hats into church because it's, your modesty in front of the Lord, right? Yeah. I get that. I get why some of the women wear, the hijab, right? But yeah, I don't get the niqab or the burqa.
To me, it's again, it's about control. Not even controlling women. It's about controlling men's urges to rape these fucking women, and everything that I've ever seen about it. That's always what it comes down to. It's he can only see my eyes, and that way he'll be less likely to fucking rape me.
It doesn't matter. You could be old and fat, young and hot, deformed. Someone will rape you. It does not matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I work with a girl. She's from Guyana, but she's a Muslim. She does not wear any head covering except for during during Ramadan. She wears a head covering.
Okay.
Because I guess it's the holy month. That's when she does it. But she practices. She's not, a sometimes practicer. The girls I work with, their families are very religious, but they don't cover their hair.
Yep.
It's not a mandatory thing.
No, it's not. And I hate how it's.
And these are Afghan girls. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're talking about people that born in Afghan while the Taliban was running it. They've come to Canada and they can show off their they have beautiful hair. Good for them.
Fact is, again, we live in a society of freedom of choice. Choose to dress however the fuck you want, and to be quite honest, I don't care. I really don't see the difference between a burqa and a fucking somebody wearing a scarf in the winter. All I can see are your eyes, but it's there's some things that, again, I just don't agree with, like the having to wait for a female in any capacity so your identity can be verified. No, I'm sorry, that's special treatment now.
Yeah.
And special treatment starts to get on a fairly slippery slope.
Yeah. No, I don't care who you are. I get that you're, whatever your beliefs are, that you can't show your face to somebody that's not your husband or your child or your family. Too bad.
Yeah, because
In Canada, you're going to have to show your face
right,
to
it
a policeman if he
doesn't
stops you.
fly here yet. This is the other thing too, and I think this is a big problem with it, is most Westerners view it as a refusal to assimilate.
Yeah.
Right. It's not saying that you have to ditch your culture, but to a lot of us, it's like a slap in the face. Like, oh, but you don't see how good we have it, and you'd rather continue. You know what I mean? Like living.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. If you loved your country so much, why'd you leave?
Why'd you leave? Right. And this just perpetuates that argument.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope. Like it really is. It's.
Well, and that's it. I mean, like when they brought in the rooms for the kids to go off and pray in, so they weren't praying in the classroom or the lunchroom.
Yeah.
Right. People were mad. Oh, why are they getting special treatment?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to see a Muslim kid praying in front of your kid? You'd probably lose your mind if they were exposed to some sort of religion that wasn't Christian in your schools, right?
Ooh, and I mean, again, like, because I'd be one to argue that point. Like, you shouldn't be praying in a public school, flat out. This is publicly funded. These are non-secular fucking places. You have to pray.
But if I want to pray before I have my meal to Jesus, no one stops me from praying at the cafeteria table.
No, but you'd face ridicule. You'd face ridicule from other students, and that you don't get that even anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
but
now,
I mean,
if I'm a student right now,
yeah,
and I seen a kid praying, like saying grace before his lunch, I'd make fun of that kid. And I'd be okay. Yeah. I'd be well within my rights to make fun of that kid for exercising his rights to religious freedoms. But if I did that to a Muslim kid who was praying, I'd probably be fucking suspended, more than likely expelled, face fucking hate crime charges, right? There's this double standard that we're looking at now.
There's religious groups in school. You can join the Christian groups or whatever they have. And I know they have them in Logan's school or in Marley's school. But I mean, as a parent, honestly, I would rather anybody that's praying publicly, like how the Muslim people have to pray, on a mat and bending over and praying out loud. I'd rather that be a way my kids weren't exposed to it. Not that I'm intolerant to it.
Yeah.
I just don't want my kids to be around any religion, to be honest.
Yeah, I get that. But no, it's. I mean, this at least opens up the talk about this thing, and I feel like for the most part we've been avoiding it as a society in a proper context. I mean, obviously there's been people yelling and screaming about this for a fucking good long while right now. But
well, that's how they bring it up. This is the problem: is when how some Canadians approach the argument is why they had to pass this stupid bill. Right, to stop Islamophobic talk, right?
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is you don't want to have hate speech, but people should be able to question any government or any religion or any culture.
Anything.
Everything should be, questioned.
Nothing is above reproach.
And because so many people were foaming at the mouth and saying, maybe not necessarily hate speech, but very close to it.
Oh yeah, very horrible things.
Right? This is why now we have that law. And that's the scary thing is, maybe if we all approached it without being so like angry and insane and attackful, right? Things might have been a little bit different, but that's our human nature, right?
Well, yeah. And, within the US and Canada, we are countries that really pride ourselves on our traditions. Like really, really pride ourselves on the traditions of who we are and how we got here, where we come from, whatever. And a lot of that to a lot of people is kind of a slap in the face of our traditions.
Yeah.
At least that's how I've seen it.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a hard thing to talk about because again, like there's always a point that you cross that it's going to sound like hate speech. You know, and
the thing about traditions always kind of bothers me in the sense that like in Canada, what true traditions do we have? Right? Like countrywide. I don't know. I always feel like societies evolve, or they should evolve, so that you're not always practicing the same traditions anyway. Like, we'll always have Christmas if you're, somebody who practiced Christmas. I'm not religious. You know that. You're an atheist like me. we still celebrate Christmas, not the birth of Christ, but get together with family and having presents and some good food.
Yeah.
Right? Retro Raccoon says hockey night in Canada.
Fucking A.
But not everybody watches hockey.
Those people
right?
are lame.
I don't watch hockey.
Lame.
Are you calling me disabled, Arthur?
Yep, that's it. I'm ableist. Come at me, bro.
But that's the sort of thing, like, traditions and cultures should be always ever evolving, and
yes.
When you bring in new ideas and things change, and I know sometimes change is scary to a lot of people.
No, you're correct. Like, you are correct. It's true. Traditions are meant to change, but and like you're saying, like how culture being a tradition essentially should change as well. But when it's being changed in a backward sense, as most people are seeing this. And again, I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment, but it's true when you do look at how traditional Islam, as most are calling it, is becoming a part of our culture. A lot of I can understand the backlash towards it. I can. And again, I've said this multiple times. I have never met a Muslim person that I did not fucking like. They are swell fucking people. Like, seriously, I haven't. I have never met one that I haven't liked. And I try to base most of my opinions off of personal interactions. I don't like reading the news or fucking seeing the horrible shit that somebody's carried out in some bullshit fucking name,
Yeah.
It's just how I look at it. But at the same point, I do feel that a lot of it doesn't gel with the West.
That's the issue. You have definitely a clash of cultures, right? And like people have said many times, not just me, not just you, a lot of Muslim culture or belief is still kind of like Middle Ages.
It is. It really is.
Not to be offensive, but it is. I mean, they still kind of consider owning women.
And that's the thing. Like, I can get over the public executions and shit like that. I really can. Like, to me, that isn't the worst thing. I mean, I don't want it here, but I can get over that. It is the ownership of human beings is the thing that I cannot forgive and I cannot get over. And that's where my own personal opinions really on the burqa and the niqab come into play, because I don't look at these as religious garments. I look at these as the suppression of women.
Yeah.
And I do. And
I 100% agree with you. Like I said, I despise them as well.
But a woman that wears it can say, well, this is my freedom of expression. I am using that right that women have here to wear this. And hey, that's fucking cool. That's fine. I get that. But at the same point in time, it is a garb that's based off of oppressing women. And now if your choice is to perpetuate that, then fuck, cool, whatever. I mean, hopefully there comes a time where you don't have that choice, at least publicly. Just like I could say, hey, it's my choice to wear a swastika armband, but I'd be ostracized pretty damn quick and probably have the shit kicked out of me more than a few fucking times pretty quickly. But it's my choice, right? I'm hoping that there comes a point where we get to the point where we do realize that this isn't a garment based on one's religion.
It's bizarre. Like, I understand why people that grew up in a country like Saudi Arabia or, a place where they wear that, I understand. That's what you know from birth. So to question it would be strange.
Yeah.
But anybody that converts from the West and starts wearing one, that's strange to me.
I also do feel like with that, and I've seen it a lot, it's defiance. It's a lot of these women saying, well, go fuck yourself. Who are you to tell me shit? And I'll be honest with you. I admire that. I love that attitude.
It takes a certain kind of strength.
I love that attitude. Like, I am such a big fan of people going, fuck you. Who are you to tell me shit? I'm going to do what the fuck I want. Because that's how I live my life. I don't let anyone tell me fucking shit. I do whatever the fuck I want when I want. Go fuck yourself. Who are you to me? And I do appreciate that. I truly, honestly do appreciate that. But, I mean, again, I know it's a bit of a straw man equating the burqa to a fucking swastika armband, but, it's not something that I personally see in the best of lights.
Yeah.
But that's me.
Well, it's not going away. I mean, look, in France, they outright banned it.
Yep.
And it hasn't gone well for them.
No.
We'll see what happens in Quebec. I mean, I get what they're trying to do.
Yes, I understand exactly what they're trying to go about, and I mean the backpedaling from the council or whatever it was that
Yeah.
you know, it's funny to watch because they know that they implemented it completely fucking wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's not like Quebec has been the the fucking coolest place. Like excluding Montreal, Montreal is fucking great. You know, if you want to, you know, be who you are and let that freak flag fly. You know what I mean? Like Montreal is the place to fucking be, but the rest of Quebec is very old school.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the show. I'll be back Sunday with Justin on our our TV Attack edition, and Arthur and hopefully Ryan will not be getting any more Botox on Monday, and he'll be back with us for Monday and Wednesday at 9 a.m. Have a good week, guys.
Yeah, take care.